So today is season 4?
Four.
Season 4, episode 1,
Yes.
right? And today we're going to be talking about pretty much what we're doing over summer training, what our goals are over this training cycle. And transitioning from that, we're going to be talking about is how we train actually healthy in the long run, short term, whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, I think you want to do like a circle. We'll just go around. You go first.
Wait,
what your goals are over the summer and what you're gonna be doing.
Okay, we'll all talk about like our summer training first, and then we'll go into the question
Yeah,
that he posed.
Okay. All right. My summer training is going to be pretty relatively low mileage, like 45, 50 miles a week by the end. I'm at 40 already, so it's kind of just like,
Oh, you're just maintaining.
yeah, I'm kind of just maintaining the whole summer. So
Yeah.
my goal is to get strong, and to feel strong, and I guess you could call it clean or easy. Feel easy when I'm just running.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm a little bit like breathing a little bit heavy.
You want to get to that point where you feel like light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just feel good.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good place to be, to the point where you're light on your feet. You can kind of just cruise through 6-7 mile days at anywhere from like 6:30 to 8-minute pace. Doesn't really matter because it's just like
Those should be
whatever pace
easy.
you go. Yeah, it's easy.
Whatever.
And then I think what I want to do is I want to basically get to a point where I am flexible enough that just my range of motion is good, because I feel like the more flexible you are and the more range of motion you have, it's kind of like you're saving yourself from I don't want to say a world of injury, because truthfully in my past it hasn't been saving myself from a world of injury, but you just feel better.
Yeah.
You just feel better when you kind of are a little more flexible, and you have that bigger range of motion, whether that's hip mobility, shoulder mobility, neck mobility, whatever it is.
I can definitely say I feel like the range of motion definitely helps in like the quicker events, I want to say, because like
For sure.
that like it like impacts how you like your stride actually like lands. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have more flexible like hips and back and like hamstrings, like that could help you produce more speed potentially. Like
And
in
also, like,
theory.
when you're tightening up, like it's, I have like pretty good range of motion, and like I feel that like when I'm sprinting, like doing like a 400, you want to feel like you can glide through the first 150
Right.
or something like that. And I think range of motion really helps with that, especially towards the end of the race when you're tightening up. And this goes for 5K, 10K as well, but I think especially for those shorter races, if you have that range of motion, you're less likely to get injured, and you won't. This isn't fact, but you might tighten up later or less severely. Not that it will make you just like an immediately faster runner, but I think it kind of mitigates that issue from happening like right away.
Yeah.
Right, because like I feel like in a race, like you already have so much else to worry about, like lactic acid, like your lungs just being dead. Like if you could just eliminate like that whole like muscle kind of like tightness caused by like lack of flexibility, lack of like range of motion, like that's a huge thing,
And the key is kind of like it's all long term. So if you're not doing it kind of every day or every other day, recently I've been doing it every other day, just because that's when I've been doing it.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing it long term, it's going to catch up with you eventually. And whether that is in the form of tendinitis, which you think it's a tight muscle, ends up being tendinitis.
Yeah.
And then, or I don't know, maybe just like weakness or something, or
I think that kind of stuff is so important, and it's really easy to like you feel a difference when you stretch and like keep on stretching.
yeah.
Because I did that over my spring training, and it made such a huge difference. And it's one of the things I regret doing, because the only injury I've ever had personally was in my foot, which was tendinitis, because I wore too tight shoes and I didn't stretch before at all. I didn't do any ankle stuff.
Yeah.
And that literally the last two problems that weren't injuries that I've had have been my left ankle and my left top of my foot, and that comes from an injury in 9th grade. And from not stretching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's definitely something, especially with you, like having multiple injuries.
I
like,
want to talk more about this later when we get into the is it healthy aspect.
Yeah. We'll talk about that more.
Right, and I just wanted to reiterate to the people watching right now, like the reason Anthony's not going like crazy on summer training is because you kind of have more of like an informal cross country season, you'd say, right? Like, could you describe more of like your race schedule for the fall?
Yeah, so I mean it's we're at Maryland. There's no boys cross country team, so there's basically what we call is like a distance squad, I guess you could call it that. just the distance track guys. So they run distance events from winter track to spring track, and during the fall, what would be cross country season, because most runners train pretty much year round. In the fall, what we do is we race 8Ks, but we're technically unattached. So like we'll wear the Maryland uniform still. Everyone knows we're running for Maryland. It's just they have no formal cross country team. So so that opportunity to get titles for Maryland isn't there. So where those opportunities are there in track. So we're using the fall. We're gonna race maybe like once every 3 weeks, which is still a pretty good amount in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're gonna race 8Ks, 5Ks, whatever the hell coaches decide. And then that's really it. In my mind, what I think they're gonna do is they're keeping summer training kind of steady, 45, 50 miles a week. And then by the time I get to the school in the fall, we'll amp it up a little bit. That way I can be under the care of the team doctors and all that.
Yeah, you don't need to kill it, especially since you're not doing anything for the team, and might as well just like make sure you come into the season feeling strong and good. You have so much good base of 45, 50 mile stuff and threshold work. Like you're just gonna be in a great spot to the point where like you feel comfortable doing.
The one thing I want to get better at this summer, which I've had 2 workouts now, and it's been 2 workouts. It's not a good tell, but I am very uncomfortable going sub 6-minute pace for tempos right now. It burns my lungs, it hurts my legs. It's very difficult.
Yeah, well you're
that just comes with time.
Yeah, you're a good enough runner where like I think all of us know that like we can do that with a few weeks of training.
Yeah,
you'll get there soon enough.
And I think just think about what we were doing in high school. We were doing
540,
540 stuff in like 10th grade, like
which was stupid. That was too fast.
It just takes a point to like get to there. I guess like to that point, which is like it's weird because like you run so fast and you're like I don't know. I just feel like you think you're so much better of a runner, but at the end of the day, like all runners are kind of like operate under that same like framework where it's like you have to like rebuild up to that point, because like once you take a certain time off, like you're gonna start back from like square one.
The goal of each season is 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 step forward, 1
right,
step back.
Right.
That's actually a really good way to think about it because I think a lot of people don't understand that, especially as a distance runner in college. You have to just like. I think that's like part of like trusting the process. You gotta be able to be like, all right, I'm gonna take time off. I'm running a 6-lap mile might be hard right now.
Right.
That's crazy because I run a 8:40 3K, but
it's gonna be so much better for you. Like because you need that rest as a runner, especially. Like it's huge.
What about you guys?
So obviously right now, like short term, I guess Andrew and I are training for the 73-mile bike ride to Montauk. That's still really undecided. We said June 24th in our video, but I think we're trying to move it more towards like June 30th, I think, something like that, just to give us a little bit more time to like actually train for a 73-mile bike ride, because that's not an easy thing to do at all. Because I know when Anthony and I don't know if you guys watching have been following long enough, but we did a 50-mile bike ride, and I did not eat enough for breakfast. And I remember hitting a wall at like mile 38 and just being absolutely dead. I don't know if you remember that, but you'd be like turning around a corner and I'd be like just coming up the street, like barely getting there. Like,
to be fair though, I did eat an entire pizza before that.
Yeah,
that's smart.
That's
you ate a
smart.
whole pizza?
Yeah,
I ate like
8
4 or
slices?
5 slices.
You want to hear what I had?
You
know, like the fish, like herring. You know those little like Trader Joe's things of like smoked herring. Like I had like literally like a tiny fish and a little bit of rice for breakfast,
dude,
and some water. And I was like, yeah, this is good.
You're
this
so
is
the
fine.
kid to have smoked herring for
Yeah.
breakfast. Like,
my mom was obsessed with smoked herring. I don't know why.
I'm sure it's good for you.
It's
fish.
It's pretty good. I don't know. I like it personally, but like
herring and avocado toast. For
that is literally actually what I had. Like
that's
2
healthy.
days ago.
Good for you. I have a fucking bagel. Like I don't know.
Fair enough.
See,
yeah.
I'm a gas station sushi
kind
of guy.
I like to shit my brains out the whole day.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but basically, yeah. So I'm gonna be like on the bike a lot from now until I guess late June, and then like I guess like the whole theme of this summer is really just trying to, I guess a couple things. Like one, trying to enjoy running again, because I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself in this past year, just like trying to train really hard and then running into an injury and then like falling back into that cycle like over and over again. So I think just trying to enjoy running and like just fixing my problems, my physical problems, because I have lower back pain. I know that my feet are gonna act up at some point. Like my ankles have been shot over the years. So I think it's just all about like becoming a more complete runner that can like run sustainably again and like actually enjoy it and not like run into that like physical wall and reset constantly. So yeah, just getting back on like a consistent stream of training. So after the bike ride, I kind of want to like slowly build up mileage, and then eventually like I want to say like towards like August, I want to try to hop on some of your training and see how I handle that, because 45 50 mile weeks, like that's not like terribly difficult if like you work up to it. I feel like, you know.
Yeah,
You've done that before.
Yeah, I've done that, but exactly.
Rocky
Yeah,
stuff
we've all done
where
that
you
before.
Can't just jump into 85.
Right. You know, I think it's just building up to that point. You know, you have to be very careful about that. You know,
and I think it's smart that you're deciding like, hey, I'm going to build up to these things. I'm going to build up to that bike ride, because if you just jump into it, that's also that kind of. Let's say you don't stretch for weeks, like we were saying before, and then you jump into this huge like explosive workout. You're probably gonna get injured. So if you jump into this,
it also might be discouraging too.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I can't do this 73-mile bike ride.
Yeah. Speaking of stretching, like it's actually been so like I used to like not care about stretching that much, but it's literally become like essential for me to like stretch out my hips and like my psoas muscle recently, because like I like can't go a day without stretching my hips recently, because like my back will just hurt too much. Like it's literally like I'm not even like working out vigorously anymore. Like I'm just like trying to do core and like deep core and like hip stretches to like make sure my back just doesn't hurt like on a daily basis, you know? So I think I just need to, again, like strengthen, stretch, and just I know I can get better given time, and get back into running and enjoy it again.
Yeah, it's
good.
gotta rehabilitate.
Yeah.
And I mean, also it's like a good quality of life, like, because you're still an active person, right? As of right now, you've like always been a very active person. So a good quality of life is basically having the range of motion to kind of do whatever you want, and having the strength to kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely a good goal.
But that's really, and also I guess looking a little bit more forward to like into like the fall season. My club team, Syracuse didn't really race that much last year. I think we might have raced maybe one or two times in the fall. So I definitely would want to try to encourage the club to. I'm the president now, so I guess it's in my hands. But I'm gonna try to.
When did that happen?
Yeah, wait, what?
Okay.
President.
So basically, like, I don't know, the former president of the running club was like, hey, like, I need someone to run the club. Like, I'm not going to do it next year. And I'm like, okay. So me and a couple of my friends are being like co-presidents, because like, I don't know, he just wanted us to like actually like have a good club experience this year, because we know like this past year was kind of like they were busy with like they're all like everyone on the e-board like this past year is like engineering majors, like they're busy with like school and everything. Like of course they did everything they could to keep the club together, and like and I think they personally did a great job of holding all the practices, but like again, like there's still a lot of room for improvement. Like we didn't race that much at all, you know what I'm saying? Like we could have raced a lot more. Like our social media was just, we had one picture up like the entire year.
Like finding that extra motivation to run a club like that when you're doing whatever major you're doing, and you're running your ass off.
Exactly.
And then you also have to run the club and figure out when everything's happening. It's like
I don't blame him.
That's so much.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. But I definitely see like a lot of more opportunity to race, because there are definitely a few kids on the team that are very driven and have high goals, me, myself included. So I guess my point there, going into like the fall, I'm going to be racing some 8Ks, some 5Ks, I guess some like far out goals, maybe by the end of the fall, break 16. That would be pretty awesome. And then in the 8K, I don't really know.
Race it.
Finish it. I don't know.
Finish
Like I raced one 8K in like the worst conditions possible and ran like 29 something. I don't even know.
It's not that bad.
So
It's not bad at all. There's people in Penn State that train their asses off and could barely.
Right. I mean, I guess just time goals aside, I really am just concerned with running pain free and enjoying running again. Like that's the most I can ask for. And if I run fast, like that's awesome too. Like I know I can get to that point again, but like just really getting back on that horse is what I'm most concerned about right now. So
I'm
yeah.
so happy that like now, like you basically have to like you're gonna race like all the time now.
Yeah.
you kind of have to.
Like,
Yeah.
like it's just like part of it now.
Yeah. No, literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Because I mean, we have the people that want to race, and like if
You just gotta
people are
pick
healthy
the
and are
able to
committed to the
literally
club.
schedule the races.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I literally
like,
schedule the
there's no
races, so I'm
excuse.
like, hey, like we're gonna race here like next weekend, like let's do it,
Yeah.
you know. So
That's
yeah,
sick.
I'm excited for it though. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So Andrew, what about you?
Yeah. So my like plans have been like kind of like reevaluated lately. So I kind of started off this summer. What I was planning on doing is like I wanted to become more of like a triathlete, but like not swim. Do athlete.
So do
I'll swim like once a week. I don't know. But so I was planning on kind of like biking, running every other day. That's what I was doing, and I was trying to lift because why not? I have time to do it. I like doing it.
Oh yeah. By the way, that's also something I gotta
Yeah,
do this
lift.
summer. Lift. Yeah, because that's huge for like getting back into things and just
building
like
some strength. In
yeah,
places
building
to go.
strength is like essential for injury prevention. So yeah, definitely want to. We'll lift together.
Yeah, we
sometime for
should.
sure.
All of us should lift
Yeah,
together. 'Cause,
definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll come up with like we'll just follow Anthony's schedule.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
has athletic
yeah.
days, right?
Yeah.
Those are-
Yeah.
What do
I
you
think-
do on your athletic days as of now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
spike ball.
it's these past 2 weeks have been interesting weeks, so I haven't.
Yeah.
It's been hard to get that in, but just because.
Well, yeah, you were upstate. You couldn't.
Yeah.
Really?
it just-
Yeah. I mean, your activity is just like hiking and doing stuff all day.
That
like,
counts though. Like.
you know.
Yeah, for the athletic days, those are like do that, but it's like maybe do like hurdle stuff, like hurdle drills, like that
It's
kind
not
of thing.
lifting really.
Well, no, but then there's strength training days.
Okay.
Oh.
That would, yeah.
Which are
Oh.
different
Okay, I
from the
mixed them up.
athletic
Yeah.
days. So
Oh, okay. So then, wait. What are the athletic days? Are just like doing something other than strengthening or running?
play
Like,
basketball
no,
or
so-
something.
yeah.
all right,
like,
so-
what does your
don't-
coach say?
well, listen, I don't want to take away too much from your.
No, we'll
Your
get back to it.
segment?
I
Yeah.
want to know because
Okay.
I'm gonna be basically using your schedule.
Okay, so
By the way, this is like we took a look at Anthony's like summer training schedule, and there are specific days that say athletic days, like strength days.
can we, like-
And,
like-
you know what I want to know? What the fuck is a spicy long run?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, honestly, I don't think that's that hard to
I
interpret.
take that as like
I just take
you
that as a
eat
quicker
hot
long
food
run.
for it. No.
I personally, I
do the
completely
Blazing-
understand.
the
Blazing
stupid-
challenge
yeah,
and
then
Blazing
go
challenge,
for a
right.
I mean,
long
okay, the way I think of like a spicy long run is like, you know when like
6:40.
yeah, you know like those
yeah.
days when we just go out on Belterre and like we're like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we're just gonna have an easy long run, and like we get to the base of the hill and we're like, never mind, no we're not.
No,
No, I don't
it's
think we will.
It's coming out from like you know how we like from Port Jeff Station we come out over like that bridge, and once
Yeah.
we're going down like past Dark Hollow Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're you're just ripping it.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
You hit like 5:40 for one of the miles.
That, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you know that the long run is either gonna be, it's gonna be all right or it's gonna be hard.
That's not spicy. That's a fucking workout.
Yeah, that's
We're
that's
doing
kind
that.
of yeah.
But
Again,
yeah.
high school, don't be a dumbass.
There were
in high
days
school.
when we would go on that run and do 6 miles at tempo pace.
Yeah.
And no, but then we would finish at a 5:20 mile.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we could barely do tempo days, like real tempo runs, at 4:45, at 5:45.
I know.
yeah,
So it was like
I don't
think it
know,
was just-
man.
I think it was just like it's Belterre.
It's
like,
Belterre.
we're
The
competing
adrenaline,
with
yeah.
Everyone, we're like, we just did an 11
Yeah.
mile long run. I don't know.
'Cause I feel like yeah, as freshmen you just hear about like like the Belterre,
Belterre,
like
dude,
it's
oh
like
my
this
God.
ominous thing.
I went out with Caleb one time.
Oh my God.
I think I was a sophomore. I went out with Caleb, and he was planning to do the run by himself. But this is when I like first started talking. So I was like, "No, I'm coming with you," and we did it at 6:19.
That's disgusting.
Jeez.
Is that your fastest long run ever? Like that's gotta
At
be
that
close.
point, it was. At that point, it was.
Yikes, man.
But you want to know? Some dude came into second win today, and he goes, I fit him for shoes. He was like 60 something years old. He goes, you know, the older you get, like you got to do hills because there's not that much like running up hills because there's not that much impact.
Yeah.
You know, it's like good for your strength. And I was like, I asked him, I was like, where do you run? And he says he will just sprint up. He'll do East Broadway Avenue, like that hill, that
Yeah.
massive like mile hill. He'll sprint up it, which I'm sure is probably like 10:30 pace
Yeah.
for him.
But still.
Yeah, sprinting
but still,
up it.
he'll go up it, come back down, go up it, come back down until he said he'll do it until he drops.
Oh
Oh,
my God. Good for him.
that is wow.
Also,
Yeah,
like,
seriously good
probably-
for him.
we'll get to this later, but probably shouldn't be running if you're 70 years old. But
Yeah. Also, for people who don't know what the Belterre Loop is, it's just basically like our high school's like long run loop. I think it's, what is it, 10 miles or something? There's
it's
an
like a
8-mile
10.8.
version.
There's
Yeah.
there's an 8 mile and an 11 mile.
There's an 8-mile and 11-mile version. A lot of times we end up just doing the 8, I feel like.
Yeah,
Depends.
But like essentially what makes Belterre like so like scary is like there's this massive hill in the middle of it, leading from Port Jeff Harbor up to the Belterre community, and it's literally one of the hardest hills.
It's got to be like 700 feet elevated.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's atrocious.
more.
It's
I don't think I could bike up that if I wanted to. Like, I genuinely don't think I could do that.
it's long, it's steep, it's not a fun hill, but yeah. So
Okay, let me explain that.
Yes,
that week
what
thing,
are-
and then we'll just go right.
what
back
are
to
our
it.
Yeah,
activity
no.
days?
So, okay, so basically it goes, there's easy days, there's activity days, and what you can interpret with the activity day is it'll list like do like the wicket things, like hurdle drills, mobility stuff. So basically activity days or athletic days. Athletic days are mobility days, you can call it that.
Mhm.
Mobility days kind of like,
Really
you can think of
focusing.
it as like you go for your run that day, but then you do the stuff after your
Right,
run.
you're-
right.
yeah, you're
the
really honing in
ancillary
on that
type
part.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like doing hurdle drills, all that, just getting your hips open, staying light on your feet, a couple stride outs here and there.
Yeah.
Then that'll be twice a week, just mobility stuff, hurdle drills, wickets, those like little hurdles. That's what those are, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like a
Which-
fast
which-
feet type
Yeah,
thing.
which I don't have, so I just kind of like, just do hurdle drills and
Yeah.
like some stuff with that, like stride outs.
We never
Yeah.
did hurdle drills in high school.
I don't know why we did.
We didn't.
Like it's actually so important. Like
It is. It definitely is.
I
It's
think
just
it's
all about that
helpful.
mobility stuff.
I think we really didn't focus on anything but running.
Firefly.
Chue over here.
We're doing this at night in my garage.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah,
less
we only focused on like running and
occasionally lifting.
occasionally lifting
Occasionally.
and stretching after practice, like
And
the
we
last
did
year.
we had a solid core routine going,
I-
I feel like.
Sometimes.
We did not just focus on just running.
Yeah.
I really
I
feel
feel
like
more than other teams we did a decent job of
feel like
making sure we did core every
core. I feel like
every
we
other
didn't
day, at
focus on
least.
recovery nearly enough, like in high school.
Well, recovery was kind of your well.
It depends.
Yeah.
Like
It's tough. I mean,
we had phases where we were really good with like stretching and doing like the drills. I
Right.
remember in cross country, like 10th grade or 11th grade, we were like really on top of that shit. Like we would do like
Yeah.
like 20 minutes of drills before we ran,
Yeah.
stretch after,
Mhm.
and like flush out. But like I feel like being on top of that more would have been like we could have been more on top of it,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know you guys like did your shit, I didn't.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like for the most part we had a pretty good routine. Like even though we missed out on like the mobility stuff, like I mean think about how a practice would go, like at least in cross country, right? Like what you do like a half-mile warm up, and then we'd do like dynamic drills, a little bit of stretching, and then we'd go do our run. We'd come back, stretch a little bit more, and then we'd do core, and that's
that's like
much,
an ideal day.
That's an-
Let's
okay,
be real,
okay,
not
that's
every
true.
day went that way.
That's true. That is
I'm
true.
gonna-
That is an ideal. That is an ideal.
That's what I
day.
mean.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I see that. But
And we also
Yeah.
didn't lift. We
Yeah.
had like one phase where we lifted, and that's when Jonah ran like 202.
literally,
Eight.
yes. Like just a testimony to how impactful lifting is. Like I think it is my
That's your
fastest
fastest
ever. My fastest ever 800 meter
It was
time.
201, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
My
201.
fastest ever 800 meter time was not run senior year. It was run junior year, right before COVID. The last
Literally
meet
last
we ran.
race.
Yeah, before COVID. It was on an indoor flat track. Like it was not even supposed to be a fast meet at all.
Oh,
And,
it was. It was
yeah.
pretty fast.
Well, it was a fast meet, but like not a
fast
fast
race.
track. Yeah.
Not a fast track.
Yeah, right. And so I ran like 2:01 for an 800, was still to this day my fastest time. But what was unique about that season was we were lifting pretty consistently that entire season.
Pretty consistent.
Like,
Yeah.
like that's when Bolchek was like teaching us like hang cleans,
Yep.
like teaching us our functional maxes
Arnold
about
Schwarzenegger's
deadlifts and squats. Like this was like really like lifting to like get actually stronger,
Yeah.
And that made us. It made me personally, I think, way better. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
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 I think it's definitely.
Let's
Good.
let's go
Yeah.
into you
yes,
now.
you're
Okay.
yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
we got very
So,
sidetracked there.
Yeah. So I started this summer. I really don't. Things have changed up a little bit for me recently. I don't. I've always been like between like wanting to run and wanting to just like pursue endurance sports in general.
Mhm.
Because I think the thing with running is like it gets dull. because you do it so much, and you think like,
Yeah.
oh, I might like cycling more, but no, I don't like cycling more. I like cycling more right now because it's a new thing to do. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I've realized after cycling for like 3 weeks. I'd rather run.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking bike anymore.
Yeah.
So, with that, I've come to realize, I think I want to continue like really running and competing because for me, there's no point in like actually like training for running if I'm not going to be competing.
Okay.
Like I need to have a goal, And recently, as you guys know, I got into Cornell, and their team.
Yeah. Can we seriously we won't talk about it a lot, but like this guy has worked his actual ass off to like get to transfer to Cornell from Binghamton. So just like seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My sincere congrats.
Yes.
Thank you, boys.
Have you
Yeah,
looked
come
into
on.
like their running club?
That's that. I have looked into their running club.
Because I know they do have. We've raced
They're
against
serious.
them.
They
Yeah.
always beat Bing.
Yeah.
They beat all of our club teams at everything. It's
Really?
annoying.
Interesting.
They're a pretty good club, yeah. So that's always a nice backup. I don't really know. I'm still in between. Like, I want to be serious about running because whether that's on club or the team, and the teams can be hard to make, but they have spots unlike Binghamton, and that's why I'm like, I can do this, but I don't want to go into it like I want to maybe do this because that's how I feel right now. I maybe want to do that. Like, I maybe want to make the team, and you're not gonna make the team if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think you
I
just got to
would-
take it one step at a time.
Yeah, but I
Like,
really want to throw myself into running, so I'm trying to like detach that goal from like just training. Like I just want to train hard and train
Right.
how I normally train.
I think you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, just trying to enjoy the sport.
Pretty
you know?
much, yeah. And
Like-
I'd like to be competitive if I can be,
Yeah.
but I feel like
Just think about like when we were young, Like
Yeah.
you'd go out for a run with your friends and you just actually just like have fun, And like
Yeah.
of course like there'd be times where you take it serious, whether it be a race or a workout, but like a lot of the days you're just going out there and you're having fun. Like I don't know. That's what I think. Of it.
and so like I want to play it by. I can't really do this, but I do want to play it by ear to see like if I want to try and make the team because I don't know how bad the workload's going to be.
Yeah.
I know Binghamton for me, it wasn't really too difficult like the academically. Like I was able to maintain good grades and run all the time and do whatever. But a team is a whole different animal, and Cornell also is probably harder than Bing, though Bing is a pretty intensive engineering program.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I can handle it, but I don't want to like if I had the ability to make the team, I don't want to be like I don't want to regret not trying,
Yeah.
So
You're
I-
only think about it, you're only in college for what, 3 more years. Like,
Exactly.
why not give it a shot?
Yeah, so I just can't half-ass my desire because I don't feel like it's fully there, but it is. It's
Mhm.
always been there. It's just like I don't feel like I wanted it as much as like Anthony. Like Anthony,
Right.
that was the goal, right? For me, it's not the end all be all. You know?
Yeah.
And I think, in a way, it comes down to like how well you respond to adversity. Because I feel like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Anthony, I feel like he handles adversity like the best out of, honestly,
Yeah,
one of
he-
the best out of anyone I know.
The
you know?
adversity goes
This
into training.
This is like Anthony moment. Can we define that word?
Anthony moment.
Anthony, wait, adversity or Anthony moment?
Oh,
adversity.
I was
Jonah
like, what?
moment.
Oh,
Jonah moment.
adversity is like hardship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Adversity is hardship. Just like the way like you handle like injuries, just like a bad race. Like I remember when you were young, like you'd get like very emotional about bad races and stuff like that. And like I feel like you could look back at that and see that as like immaturity, but I honestly look back at that and see that as like passion in a way.
I think
it's a mix of
I
both,
think
right?
well, you gotta when you get like I think you can get older and become jaded and be like I just don't give a shit when I do bad.
Right,
Which
yeah.
is really easy to do that, but I think the way he did it is that he just became wiser with how he deals with it.
Yeah.
He still gets pissed off inside, but that doesn't go into beating a water bottle. Like
There's no
up.
point in smashing yourself in the
There's
face with a metal.
yeah,
water
there's,
Yeah.
there's no point in doing that. You just focus it back into your training.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, and
No, yeah.
that's like what you need to do to become a D1 athlete.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, just on a completely results-based level, I mean, it's just like, think about how Anthony bounced back from his adversity, and then like how like I feel like adversity for us has been destroying.
It can
us,
be
you know?
it could be a spiraling effect.
Right,
of,
a
like,
spiraling effect of like,
Oh, I just don't.
oh, I
give
had a
shit
bad race,
anymore.
like, oh, I
Yeah.
gotta like blah blah blah, do this, and it's like you have another bad race, and you're like, oh god, like
yeah.
what am I doing?
It's
like,
it's easy after one bad race, but after 7 of them, it's like
right,
fuck this.
right, yeah.
Which, and
I know that's a mentality that you were kind of getting in like senior year. a
That's
little
what
bit.
and that's what was happening. That's what happened to me
That was happening to me too, honestly, a little bit actually. Now that I think about it. 'Cause
Yeah, state
think about
quals.
think about divisions. That 800 meter,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was bad
was-
for both of us.
That's such a shit.
yeah. Just watching that gap
And
form.
the thing is,
Yeah.
though, that's the difference. There was such a fucking decline in like mentality for me
Right.
personally, because after state quals, I lost to Brian in that race. Had a horrible race.
Really?
I broke down in tears after, like with like DeLuca and everyone, like
Wait,
right after the
really?
race.
Wait, what race was that?
That was state quals when we lost to Northport. We came second in cross country. Anthony, what's it called? Came second. Remember that?
Yeah,
I
that was
had-
an emotional race.
Had a garbage fucking race.
yeah.
But I was like, I was pissed after that. After state quals for when I ran like 205.
Yeah.
It's not good for me. I literally just didn't give a shit. I was just like,
So
I was
whatever.
done. I was just like, this is it.
So does that have to play into how you're training now?
Yeah, well, that's what I don't want to get. I need to fix whatever. I don't know how to stop that from happening. You know, how to stop. And I think the difference is that like running is not at one point or another it just became not the main thing in my life. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And
But,
especially
like-
senior year when you're thinking about like college and stuff like that, and you're being
Yeah.
sentimental about all your friends. Like,
But-
there's so many more things to like focus
I
on.
don't think it
wanna
has to be
say.
the main thing in your life in order
Yeah.
for you to give a shit about it. And
No, I
I'm
agree.
trying to, like, of course I still love running, but I don't know if like when it comes down to it, if I'm going to be there mentally when I need to be. And that's something I'm trying to fix over the summer, but that's not something that will come easily to fix.
That's good that you can be honest with yourself, though.
Yeah.
And like, I completely understand where you're coming from, especially after like this past, like even this past year for me, like it's been like tough, like just like, I don't know, just to just keep your head in it, like with no team, with nothing.
Yeah, I
just,
think it's
like-
also like you have insanely high expectations, and that's
Right.
something it's really contradictory because I want to not have those expectations, but I also want to,
to
make
meet
a D1
those.
team.
Yeah.
So
It's
like,
a make or break type thing, and
Like,
I
either do
think
or
just
don't.
like, again, like expectations are good, but like I think they should start from a place of like being realistic, like, you know, taking it back and being like, okay, like sure that's a big goal, but like what's my most immediate goal right now? And I think, I don't know, that's what I've been trying to do at least recently, just trying to like break down like your dreams into like achievable steps, you know.
yeah,
And yeah, it'll take time. It'll take
I
time.
just want to try and again like not that I don't enjoy it, but I want to get to the point where I'm like I want to go for a run most of the days.
Yeah.
Like right
Yeah.
now, I want to go for a run like 2 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week, and the other times I'm forcing myself to do it,
Mhm.
which isn't a bad thing. You're gonna have to do that, but you know, I want to try and enjoy it again and get to the point where like I feel like I really want to do this. Because
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been at that point, like 11th grade cross country. I've never been more motivated than that.
Like actually
Never-
same.
actually never,
same.
never actually like everything I did in life was just for running.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was for.
You
And
just
it-
get into the state of like flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a flow state. And
Yeah.
I wanna get to that point again where I feel just like Anthony's trying to do this summer. I want to feel good on my runs. I want to be able to, you know, run a tempo at 5:50, 5:40 pace, and I want to be able to get my mileage somewhat up there. And you know, maybe get a race or two in.
Spartan racer too.
Spartan race.
Oh yeah, facts. Forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're racing a Spartan race. That should be
and
fun.
and basically what my plan is like to achieve that is obviously they changed recently because I was not really going to train not like crazy or anything, but now I'm going to. I'm right now I'm just kind of in the base phase. I'm getting used to running again, so I'm getting like bikes in every now and then. I actually don't have a schedule at all. I'm literally just doing like whatever I feel like doing. Although I'm going to follow his schedule now.
I mean, you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I have it.
I can send you like I'm starting to make like a bike training plan.
Let's make one. Like,
Yeah.
we should like.
'Cause
I
I
want
was-
to have a similar. enough
Yeah.
Well, how about let's talk about this? Let's make one right now.
Let's make one
What
right
is it-
now.
What is an ideal bike training plan? look
Okay,
like?
so from what my
Wait,
basic
for-
research is, so like I was
Wait, are we training for biking or are we training for the summer?
I was just training for I literally looked up like how to train for like an ultra like bike like a 100-mile bike ride. That's literally my Google search, like how to train for that. And it's literally
it's a WikiHow article.
Yeah.
and it was like it literally came up with like
Just
it's like a
like-
basically like just like running type training plan, just like in terms of like biking. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so obviously, you know, we don't have to set this in stone, but what would be like obviously this isn't your training plan set in stone right here,
Mhm.
but you know, you just said you're taking training more seriously right now. how can you incorporate biking and all that into it? And like, what is that workout?
Lifting.
I guess what does that workout look like? Lifting, you said.
I said lifting is the way that, for me, I want to get back into running, work on my aerobic fitness more.
Okay.
But with that being said, I want to be in biking shape, and I think that lifting is a great way.
Oh, are we
to
talking
get
about
us-
like
for
are
the
we talking-
bike? This is for the bike.
Oh, okay,
still,
okay.
But like I know that you are more focusing on bike. I'm trying to get in running shape right now, but also be able to bike.
Be able to bike. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yeah, we're taking like different routes.
Because
Like, I feel like
they
yeah.
are related though.
Yeah, they are
like,
related.
Like you can, if you're in good running shape, you're more likely to be able to bike
Mhm.
further. You know.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't.
they do correlate a lot.
Yeah, they
'cause it's just
correlate.
the same lungs doing the generally same thing, I feel
Yeah.
like. So.
Biking is just like, I don't know. I feel like I've never been to the point on a bike where I'm like I can't go more.
Right.
Which that's
Oh
just
my
because.
god,
Yeah, you probably have.
dude, it gets rough.
The quads
gets-
get
Yeah, I'm definitely a little naive
get
in
tight.
that respect because I've only ever biked like 20 miles. I've done like 30-mile spin bike, but that's not.
I feel
the
like
same.
Anthony and I've gone to the well on some rides sometimes.
It's just like your legs get so like I don't think my legs have ever been more exhausted from just like riding 18 miles an hour for an hour and a half, just like going and not being able to stop because I'm chasing Mr. Leibowitz.
Oh,
because,
God.
because he can keep going.
Oh god.
Meanwhile, like I'm like, no, I'm good. Let's go again. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It gets wild. And
That's insane.
it's like the burn of a tempo in your from your whole legs, but it's just in your quads.
Yeah.
It's literally,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
just focusing it all right here.
Oh my
Mm.
god, it gets bad. It gets so bad.
I know the feeling, but I know the feeling of like the burn. I've just never felt like I couldn't keep going if like I wanted to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's like a new level of burn. There's like the burn where you're like, fuck, this hurts, and it's like I physically can't move.
Yeah,
I
Right,
actually
yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
There's
haven't been
actually
there yet.
what's that?
I haven't been quite there yet.
There's this I don't know what it's called, but I learned about it this past year. There's this one like kind of not sickness but condition you can get.
I know what you're talking about. I know
Yeah,
exactly what
from
you're talking
working too hard,
Mhm.
where I think it's myoglobin.
Mhm.
So you basically
It's-
work your muscles too hard, you tear the muscle fibers too much, and myoglobin leaks out of your muscles, which technically means they can't get oxygen anymore.
Yeah, it's like something I forget that.
I did not.
There's
know
like
that.
there's like some name for the disease. David Goggins got it like a few times. 'Cause-
That
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. We expect that, but like, yeah,
Dude, it gets just
That's kind of a
imagine getting
brag,
to that
though.
point. But is it?
I mean, if I got that, I'd be like, yeah, I literally like worked myself as hard as I physically could.
And that,
Yeah.
that
Not
proves you're
even a lie.
mentally strong, but it proves that you're pretty weak physically.
Yeah.
Depends,
I don't even think
know. It
weak
depends how long you're
physically-
going. If you're doing like 100-mile, like
Yeah.
run,
It depends how long you're
Like-
I don't know. I think it's kind of just stupid, honestly. Like I guess like sure, like yeah, it proves that you're mentally tough, but like also like you just have to know your body and know when like you're just doing too much. You know?
yeah, you don't
Like,
need to do that to be like
Yeah.
I'm tough.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't need to
But
do that. 'Cause
I
that's
don't think
just-
most people do. I think it's pretty rare.
that's just objectively not something you want to
Typic-
be doing during
unless you
training.
get that during like a race. And you're
Yeah,
like,
then that's different. Yeah.
Typically, when that happens, it's usually because coaches are pushing their athletes too far. They don't know
Right.
how to train them.
Right.
You know, which is why it's important you always listen to your body. You know?
Yeah.
Because your coach could be telling you one thing, but if your quads are telling you don't fucking go.
And
You know
that,
what I
that's
mean?
that's
Yeah.
what I want to kind of learn to do this summer. I want to try and become a little more wise, and it's hard to do that. If you're trying to become wise, you're probably not going to become wise.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to stay like in more in tune with like my body and how I'm feeling because
I
I
think
tend
just-
to overwork myself.
Yeah, I think it just comes out of being really patient with yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know. I talk about this in a lot of podcasts, but like, we just don't realize how like, and like we can segue this into like what we wanted to talk about. Like,
Yeah.
we don't realize how long like our like time horizon is. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 months during the summer is a long time to like.
A lot of time.
Yeah, you could injure yourself, you could get better, and then like injure yourself again,
for,
and then
for
get
reference,
better again.
like you can, I can get into like 4:45 shape
Yeah.
in 2 weeks.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
3 months is so much time.
Right. Who
to-
knows what shape you can get into? You know what I'm saying?
it is so much time, but
Yeah.
in the same
You
respect,
can't let off the
it-
gas.
if you are looking at that as, hey, I have all this time, and you're doing your training, but you're not seeing the improvement, that can also be super discouraging because then it doesn't feel like you have enough time.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and especially during an in season, races are coming and going.
Yeah,
Right. You know,
especially
you're like,
when you have
Nah,
as
yeah,
much
that's
stress
a bad
as you do to
feeling,
like
yeah.
perform.
Yeah.
Because like if you don't perform, you can lose your scholarship. You can-
Right.
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
That's a lie. It's not
It's not just mentally tough. It's like literally life tough.
like you really have to just trust like
Yeah.
the process, but you also have to be aware like, is there something in my training that's not working?
Yeah,
You know? Like,
exactly.
and I guess it's kind of for the coach to evaluate.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least for us, we don't have coaches, so it's for us to evaluate. But it's kind of less.
And then you get in your own
pressing.
head about it. You're just
Yeah, you
like,
get in
what
your
am
own head
I
and you
doing?
just-
Am I physically weak and mentally stupid in my training? Like, I don't know.
Probably.
Probably. Like, I don't know. Yeah. But,
yeah, a little bit of both.
a little bit of both, yeah.
A good mixture of.
yeah. So I guess to
stupid and
segue
weak.
into what this podcast really wanted to talk about, like, is like running and training at our level, like, is it healthy? Is it sustainable? Like, what does that mean for the long term?
Is the way we train, is the way we run, so on and so on, actually healthy? Drop the mic.
Okay, so I think there's like a number of things that, like, first, like, let's talk about like the nature of the question. Like is it sustainable? Like as in like if we trained how we did for the rest of our lives, like what would happen? Like I think obviously the obvious answer is like we would fall apart. Like let's
Yeah.
be real. Like
Yeah.
our joints
I think
would
that's obvious.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. Like
Yeah.
our
And
like,
for any almost any training.
for
if you
any
do it,
yeah.
you just abuse the shit out of whatever muscle
Right.
group you're abusing. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
In terms of like, is it healthy? Let's talk like what does that actually mean? Like genuinely, I'm not even like
Okay, so-
asking just to be like pesky. but,
In my
like,
mind, being healthy means that you have as low of a risk for cardiovascular disease as you can get. You know, your blood pressure, your blood cholesterol is at good levels. You're strong enough, to live and do the activities of daily life. That's healthy. That's not fit.
There's a difference. Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
there's a difference
There's-
between healthy and fit.
Yeah, you could be like fit is like a new level of like. Not only can I take the groceries up the stairs, but I could also climb a fucking mountain. If I
Yeah.
wanted to,
Well,
you know?
Yeah.
well, I would say that's that's very fit. That's very fit.
Yeah.
But a fit person can, like, truthfully, not that many people are that fit. You know, I would say someone that's fit is someone that can go out and run 3 miles without stopping. Someone that can bench press their body weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I totally.
A little
agree.
less than their body weight. You
Mhm.
know.
I think no. Well, if you're a guy, you should be able to bench press your body weight. If you're
I don't know the standards for like women
That-
or anything.
yeah, for women, it's probably a little less.
I can't bench press my body weight.
Look at this unfit little.
I find that hard to believe.
No,
I
I'm
you
like
definitely
pretty.
can.
Really?
You
definitely
absolutely can, dude. It's really not that hard.
What are you, like 150?
Yeah, like max.
Oh, actually, what am I saying?
you
No,
can
I
definitely
remember
bench
looking at my
one.
functional maxes. It was like 160 for bench.
Yeah,
It was
you-
like, okay,
I
never
remember you
mind.
doing
You
like
can bench press your body
180.
Oh, I just remember like one time like going to World Gym and like trying to bench like 130 and like really struggling or something.
Well, that happens if you literally haven't like if I haven't worked out for like 2 months, like I
If you were to
Can't
if
bench
you were to
my weight.
basically do bench press like twice a week for 2 weeks, you would instantly go up. Like
Yeah,
you'd have
it's not-
a big jump at the
Yeah.
start, but then it
it
wouldn't.
slows down.
Yeah,
It's like
so-
running.
Yeah,
Like I go for 3
Yeah.
runs. I run for a week and I could break 5 now.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
But anyway,
Is it healthy?
so I am going to argue no, it's not.
Interesting.
And I feel very strongly that it's not.
So you think the benefits do not outweigh the risks?
I think the benefits you do. Yes, we have the benefits of getting low risk of cardiovascular disease because our blood pressure is good. Our resting heart rate is probably below
Your lungs
60.
are good.
Your
That's
lungs
also
are
something
good.
we really
Yep.
undercut. My mom has really shitty. She has lung disease and a ton of other stuff with her lungs. She walks up the stairs and she's like she's not like obese or anything at all.
Yeah.
And she's done.
Okay, so yeah.
Like that is a huge benefit, I think.
I mean, yeah, it's just basically if you're, it's kind of hard to tell, but the way I would describe it is, at least if all of us keep training the way we are training, I mean, you haven't had too many injuries, but
They'll
like
come.
like who knows? Maybe my Achilles will snap. And then 30, 40 years down the line, I might have trouble walking. You know what I mean?
I know
Because
people. My family friend, so he was a runner in college. He ran like 4:23 or something. He's pretty
Okay.
decent,
Yeah.
especially for the time. He literally has had so many Achilles and knee surgeries that he has become an alcoholic because he is in so much fucking pain walking
Yeah,
and
like-
just sitting.
Right.
It's like it's horrible, and that's just from running.
Yeah, like it just and
And
that
they
can
also
be,
had shitty shoes and stuff.
Well,
but-
yeah, but that can seem very negative. But the truth is, like we're saying all this thing, all these things, and it's gonna sound negative. But the truth is, I mean, running to the level we do, it breaks down your body. And after I've talked to people, that guy I talked to today, and I mentioned him in part 1 of the podcast that runs
Mhm.
up that giant hill. Okay, he also told me his entire hip was steel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
He's like 60, 70 years old.
But then again, you look at someone like Mr. Leibowitz, who is kicking our asses in a lot of athletic feats when he's, what is he, almost 60?
Also,
I think
his
he's in his
knees are like
mid-fifties?
significantly messed up, though.
Are they?
Yeah, aren't
Oh.
they? Hasn't he had like multiple like knee replacements?
I
I
don't-
don't think we should talk about anyone specifically.
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying
yeah,
that he's
facts.
like, he's a pretty healthy person,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well-
So I'm saying it doesn't happen to everyone.
It doesn't happen to everyone, but you also got to look. As someone that is bike training with little impact,
Mhm.
if you take a 60-year-old that is training on the bike for the past 15 years of their life, and they go out and they run a 30-mile week, their body's going to be destroyed.
Well, no, what
Even
I'm more
if they
saying is
train
like
for it.
Yeah.
his training from when he was a college athlete didn't necessarily kill him. Like I think we're building it up because like I had the example of the person who is just destroyed. Like that doesn't happen all the time. Like
It doesn't. No.
running won't necessarily destroy you, but it can. Like
It
has the potential
definitely
to,
can,
Is what I'm
yeah.
trying to say.
Especially at the intensity of like a Division I athlete. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you look at all these college coaches. This is going to be kind of funny. A lot of them were really, really good runners. They're all fat bastards now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that just kind of, like, because I think, you run to such a high level, it takes a toll mentally that you almost can't enjoy it afterwards.
Right. And also it's just like opportunity cost. You know what I'm saying? It's like we spend so much time like running, training, like all this stuff, and like to be healthy, like you don't need even half the amount of time you just pour into this. You know what I'm saying?
You can run twice a week, and that's more than enough cardiovascular training for you to be.
Exactly.
If you, like in my opinion, I think if you can run 3 miles and not die, like you are a healthy person.
Yeah.
Probably. Like
And
you're probably a healthy person.
If I'm gonna be real, like completely unbiased, like there are so many safer,
Yeah.
like more sustainable ways to like train cardio.
There's a reason old people swim.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like swimming, biking, like even going on like a step machine, like all that stuff can get you healthy and it's so much less impact and has so much less like drawbacks that running does. Not to like say bad stuff about running. Running is great. You should definitely try it out. It's great cardio, but there's a lot more sustainable ways to
I don't know.
be healthy. You know?
This might be like a hot take. But
Yeah.
Like I don't think one is better than the other necessarily. What I think is that there's a right way to run and train, and it can be sustainable for a good amount of time, especially when you're young. If you do the right things, like Anthony does. Like
Right.
he's gotten to the point where he's not fucking breaking his Achilles and shit.
Mhm.
But I also think that if you just want to be like straight up fit and healthy, the best thing to do is have a combination of all three. Like
Yeah.
be a triathlete. I think those are some
Yeah.
of the healthiest people in the world because they're cardiovascularly fit in 3 different ways. They're working so many different muscles,
Yeah.
and they're able to do that to a high level. I think that is if you want to be healthy, and that's what kind of interested me with it. Like that's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like if we're talking about health, like from a completely cardiovascular point, it's like lifting is also can keep you healthy and that also trains your muscles. But like I think we're talking about more like actual like health in terms of longevity, you know, like in terms of like preventing heart disease, preventing like lung problems, all this stuff, you know.
And that's not the only killer. One of the biggest killers of older people, is losing the ability to go up and down stairs.
Yeah, they get muscle
Interesting.
atrophy.
If you lose that ability, you know,
That-
you can't.
What?
If there's stairs in
That
your home,
sucks.
you can't go up them.
Right.
You can't go
Literally.
down them. You can't get to your bedroom. You can't get down from your bedroom.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, your muscles are atrophying to that point.
Okay.
so we're talking about muscle
Muscle atrophy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
I was gonna ask, like, we were talking about like old people and muscle atrophy before our camera died, and we put a new camera on. I was gonna ask, like, that's preventable by exercise? I'm assuming that's the point you're trying
yeah,
to.
so basically, it comes down to this: the point is, you want to build up muscle when you can still build it. You can. I don't know the exact ages, but you can build it when you're young.
Right.
And then
When your
you
joints
can
are
also
healthy
build
and
it
You
when
can
you're
maintain
old.
it when you're old.
Yeah, you can also build it a little bit when you're old, but like the rate
It's
slows
not.
down so
Your body's
much.
not the same.
Your body's not the same. So basically, if you never work out and you're 18 and you're already muscle atrophying because all you do is sit on the couch all day, you know, like play video games, smoke weed, whatever the hell it is you do, and then you get to the point where you're 60 years old and you can't go up the stairs anymore because you don't have enough muscle, your life is over.
Yeah.
That is the start of your death.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
In my mind, yeah. Like if you can't move your body,
Yeah.
like I don't want to. I mean,
It
this is
doesn't,
a
'cause
hot
you don't
take.
get better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really want to be alive at that point if I
Yeah.
can't do anything. Like
And
that just stinks.
It also comes down to this: then quality of life is bad, and
You don't
then
even want to live
and
deep
yeah,
down.
it's
You're just like
it.
pissy.
And obviously, that's all like, you know, long term down the road stuff. But then, like we said before, there's always the thing with like you get bad joints, you know, and that affects quality of life too.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, because that hurts.
Yeah,
Ultimately, it hurts, and
Yeah.
pain's not good. Pain's
No,
not
pain
good.
is bad. That's a hot take.
Yeah, just to segue into like more about like the healthy, like if this is healthy and stuff. You know, we've been talking a lot about like physically, like how it is for your heart. Like we're kind of we're in a way in terms of like a health scope. The way we train, or at least the way you train right now at a D1 level, is like I wouldn't say unhealthy, but it's unsustainable. I'd say. Right? You would agree with that?
I also don't think it makes Anthony a fitter person in general. Like I don't think he'd have an easier time doing like he won't have an easier time carrying the groceries up the stairs or
Right,
something
no.
like that just because he's a D1 runner.
Exactly.
And I personally find like I could be running like let's say I'm in like 4:30 shape for like the mile. That's like good shape.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't really impact like how gassed I get playing tennis. Really, like at least I find like when I'm in peak running shape, I'm still gassed if I play like 2 rounds of spike ball. Like I'm tired.
Right.
Like, you know.
Bitch.
I'm also a bitch. But like I think that diversity in personally I think aerobic exercise is probably is more important than anaerobic exercise when it comes to being an actually healthy person.
So, I want to.
I'm not saying it's the only thing.
Yeah.
Well, oh no, it's definitely not the only thing. But this is what I'm going to say. In today's world, why do you have to run a 4:30 mile?
You don't.
That's
Absolutely
that's
not.
kind of what I was gonna say. I was literally just gonna talk about how like mentally it is for you, because we're talking about like health in terms of physical, but like we don't realize the fact that like like training this hard for this long can take a toll on you. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And
Yeah.
in my
That's only if
opinion,
you're bitch made.
it's only if you're bitch.
True.
made.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Like us.
It's better to focus on trying to stay fit and getting healthy in something you're passionate about
Right.
than it is like
To force yourself.
if I was in your major, I would be depressed because like that is super hard that would be super hard. Like I wouldn't be able to. That's not sustainable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The running kind of is.
Yeah.
Obviously not long term
Mhm.
as I get into my late 20s and 30s. You know, kind of
Yeah.
the road starts to take a little dip there. But it's if you can pour your energy into your passion, even if it is a little bit overboard,
It's
that's
fulfilling.
that's
Yeah.
better than spending it on something that's not as
Right.
Fulfilling, yeah.
fulfilling.
I think I kind of I'm sorry, I introduced that on a bad note, like mentally it could be straining, but what I really meant to say was like I feel like, as I said on like previous podcasts, like you get so much like literally chemical releases from exercise.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like what my question is, I don't even know the answer to this, like does that impact like how your life goes,
Oh,
like
for sure.
overall? Like think
Yeah.
about like
People-
the dopamine that you get. Like think about, okay, let's just say you train not how we train. You train like a normal healthy person would ideally, right? Like say like 3-4 times a week, right? And you get, let's say, some X amount of like dopamine or serotonin from like each workout, right? like does that like I don't know, does that like improve your quality of life
Oh, yeah.
by a day?
Almost
Does that
no-
compound over time?
Almost
Like
no one.
I want to
This
I
isn't
want
like
to talk about that.
So I don't have like the stat off the top of my head, but
Right.
almost every person that commits suicide does not exercise regularly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And just from like a personal, I guess this is opinion, but it's also I think that a lot of people can relate is like when I go through periods of not working out, which like for me the longest that really in the past few years has been is like 3 weeks. I feel like shit for 3 weeks, you know. Like
Yeah.
I feel like shit if I'm not working out
Mhm.
always. And other people have like different tolerances with that, but I find that like it is probably the biggest. If you're not working out, I think it's the biggest change you can make in your life to become happy. Like almost 100%.
I can definitely attest to that too, because I remember I think I've talked about this on previous poster podcasts, like, you know, just like that I used to dread that like that off period between seasons, you know what I'm saying? Because like I just feel like what would I do with myself? Like I don't know, I just feel like unhappy. I just feel like unusually like just like my mood was off, you know? I don't know if that happened to you guys, but
So-
that definitely happened to me. I don't know, in between seasons.
Between seasons, I was typically always like, all right, let's take a break.
Yeah.
But by the time the next season came around, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because that break, I always wanted that break. I
You-
needed that break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I need it too personally, but you also just always dread it because you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
feel like shit.
No. I think it's definitely needed. Like I think that first week, but like I don't know. I just
It just
remember like
stinks.
around that second week, I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel weird. Like my mood just feels off. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. Like I
Yeah.
miss it, but like, it's not even that I miss it. I just like miss like how
The
I
endorphin
felt
rush.
because of it. You know? Yeah,
Yeah.
that rush was just like every day you get that like you just get active and you get your heart pumping and you're with your friends and it's like. Literally, like it's dopamine. That's literally what it is. So I mean, I don't know. It's
And-
really interesting how that can affect over time.
Yeah, and especially because, you know, you look at people that exercise versus people that don't. And again, I don't have the statistics. So, you know, if someone's listening to this. Okay. So, yeah, you look at people that, you know, exercise versus people that don't exercise. And I don't have the exact statistics. But basically what happens is you see that people that exercise, depression rates go down. You know, they eat healthier.
Yeah.
You know, it's quality of life goes up because exercise ultimately, and you can debate on this all you want, but I believe exercise is medicine. You know, how much exercise you do, that dosage is kind of
You can overdose on the medicine.
you can overdose on
Yeah.
the medicine. You can definitely overdose on the medicine, but I think that goes to show that it's also addicting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is good and bad.
it's good and bad.
Mostly good.
It's
Yeah,
good and
mostly
bad
good,
because
but-
there's you can do a lot before it starts to become unhealthy, but when it does start to become unhealthy, it sort of it has bad health effects in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
But do those outweigh the good health effects? You know, like that's where the line kind of
Yeah.
Well, I
that's
think,
where it's a blurry line.
I think just like to, I guess, kind of like cycle back to like specifically running, because running does not always like people hear of like the runner's high and like that's that's the dopamine you get from running. You do not get that every time.
Not every
That
time.
is not
Let's
normal.
be real. You get that
Not
once
normal.
a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Once,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like for me personally, like I've only gotten like actual runner's high maybe like a handful of times. Maybe like a dozen or so times.
Yeah, I get it sometimes.
You
I
know?
definitely.
It's not a
I get
normal
it in
occurrence.
workouts with people. I can't get it
Yeah.
alone in a workout because I'm just like
Oh, I
fucking
get it.
kill me.
I get it alone on like runs where I'm cruising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. Too,
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
I've had that, but I think I don't know if running is actually the best thing to bring out that kind of endorphin rush, but I don't think it's bad mentally unless you really overdose on that drug again.
Yeah, not even over. I think it's just bad. Like again, like how we were talking about in part one of our podcast, just like putting expectations on
Yeah,
yourself.
your attitude.
That whole like when you start to put metrics around like running and like of course that's good for like if you really want to achieve something.
you need to.
If you need to, right? But like if we're talking about it from like this new like health perspective and like longevity, like I think it's good that you try to avoid those expectations and you run and you exercise to be healthy, not only physically but as we're talking about now mentally and
I think you
Yeah.
need a genuine just to be physically healthy. Just to I guess kind of move to. I feel like we didn't talk enough about it. Like to be physically like healthy, you need a good combination of everything. It can't just be you can't just run and expect to be like overall an actually healthy and very fit person.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of what we were missing. Yeah, I think like again, the way we train right now is incredibly it's
Heart
like
healthy.
one-dimensional.
it's
Yeah,
very
heart healthy.
Yeah, it's very
It's like eating
one
Honey Nut
dimensional.
Cheerios every
Yeah,
morning,
it's
you know?
hugely one dimensional. Like
You're not getting every other part of the diet, you know.
right. And I think it's one dimensional, but I think it's still pretty dynamic.
It still gets
I mean,
a lot of it, but like
right.
I think that like our chests are probably underdeveloped in comparison to like our upper body
Right,
or
right.
our
We're not the most well-rounded athletes.
it's not
out
we're
there.
not the most well-rounded. Our calves are fucking huge.
Yeah.
And like
Our slow twitch muscle fibers are ever present in,
Yeah.
in our body.
We are running out of time a
Okay.
little bit. We got a couple minutes left, but I do.
We'll just
feel-
wrap it up.
Well,
and-
no, I do feel we
Yeah.
can talk a little more, but I do feel strongly that if I had to pick between strength training and cardiovascular training, in terms of longevity and quality of life, I would choose cardiovascular training just
Every
because
day.
the data shows it. You know what I mean?
it's
Your
strength
heart.
Right.
training is not
And not that we have to choose between the two, because for people living a healthy lifestyle, you can do a mix of both and have both of those benefits. You know?
Yeah, but I think like those like it's a big thing now, like lifting.
Right.
Everyone is
That's a huge thing now,
Everyone's
yeah.
a superstar
Well,
or whatever. Yeah, noise the fuck out of you. They're not fucking healthy.
They're not healthy.
If
They're
you're not
not
doing
healthy.
cardio like 3 times a week and you're just lifting and taking 700 milligrams of caffeine before you work out and overdosing on protein before and after,
Pre-workout is pointless.
it is it's not that's not health. You're just
That's an
aesthetic.
aesthetic,
That's
yeah.
an aesthetic.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that all those people are not healthy.
Yeah.
Most of them
Not to
are.
say you're not hardworking either, because
Not
I
to say-
mean,
yeah,
you
not
work
to
your
say
ass
it's
off.
fucking
This
hard.
is such a hot take. This is such
Oh,
a
no,
hot
this
take.
is-
Guys, this is
Pissing
a
off a lot of
podcast. This
people.
is for a whole other podcast we could talk
This is
about.
Yeah,
such a hot take.
but those things annoy me when like that is not the epitome of health at all. The people who are doing Ironmans and shit like that.
That
those
is
people,
literally the epitome. of
those
health.
people are
Like, that
fucking
is-
healthy. And
Not even.
Not
that's-
even. Okay, but not
not
even though,
even.
because we were
Too
talking
much.
about overdosing.
That's
on that,
overdosing.
right? Yeah.
Do you want to know who's healthy? Nobody.
yeah, no one's healthy. Drop the mic.
Podcast
Throw
over.
the table.
No, I think essentially just to wrap it up though, I think the point is the way we train right now is probably not healthy. Like your joints will just be destroyed by running. We're a little bit one dimensional in the fact that we maybe weaken other areas of our body, but in general, I think if you did what we did, but just simply dial everything back a lot, take down the volume, mix in some other types of training, like I don't know, spike ball, basketball, swimming,
active.
biking. Like if you make yourself a more well-rounded individual and you focus really on developing your heart, that's a great way to be healthy and sustainable and live a great,
Okay, wait.
happy, long life.
Wait,
So.
but I run a 4:30 mile, so
But-
so fuck you.
but-
Actually.
okay, you may
Fuck
be
you,
healthy,
Al.
but I run a fourth.
Okay,
Who's really winning here?
in terms of being the healthiest, I think we are healthy individuals right now.
Maybe not in 10 years.
Well, even I think in 10 years, I think by the time you get into the 60s, 70s,
Right.
that's
You might be
when you
feeling
start
those
to see like
effects.
those joint effects, all that.
But you can do
If-
a lot to prevent that. If you wanna
yeah,
run.
you can do a lot to prevent that.
And
That's a
that's the
huge
thing.
note about that.
But also, in terms of what is healthy, anything that you can do consistently with the longevity of life and quality of life, both being good in mind.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean nothing too the extreme, nothing too little, but finding that sweet spot in the middle.
do everything
Right.
ever.
And right now we're kind
Every
of
exercise.
we're
Every
kind of
exercise.
away from that sweet spot in the sake of not health, but in the sake of performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
a good
also
way to put it.
like what we love to do. So
Yeah. So
Fuck
like
you.
if you're again like I think the point is like if you're looking
This is
at
gonna die. We should end it.
okay
Uh,
thank you guys for watching. This has
sorry,
been
this is
season
kind of
4.
a scuffed episode. This is probably the most scuffed one we've had. But
It's all
okay.
good, though.
It was
It's
good
all good.
content.
Oh,
Sort of.
Yeah.
was I gonna wrap?
Bye.
Oh,
You want to wrap it up?
I was gonna wrap it up and just say
Wrap it up.
this has been
Wrap it
season
up.
4, episode 2. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, so check out our other podcasts if you haven't already, and like and subscribe or something. I don't know.
I don't know. You can't do that on this.
Okay, shut up, Andrew.
Bye.
Bye.